Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Adventures with Captain Ray Kelly live on this beautiful Memorial Day. And let's not forget to remember and honor our fallen troops that have given the ultimate sacrifice for this great nation. That's what it's really all about. But I know one thing. I was watching the news, and there's so many people at the beach, and they're boating, and I even got outside and I I just went in my backyard and I flew my Air 2 today for a quick short flight. That's all. I haven't flown this thing in probably a year, but it was good to get it back up and get it a quick flight. But I got two great guests on the show tonight, and you're gonna love them. Both are experienced drone pilots, to say the least, and that's Lawrence Clark and Brian Mackey, and they're going to share their drone experiences with us. And they both have a lot of knowledge about flying drones and photography. And I learned a little bit about Lawrence too. In the back room, he was in the radio at one time, so maybe he'll talk about that too. But it's going to be a great show, and thank you all for tuning in tonight because without that, the show would really wouldn't be successful. It's without the viewers. So let me just welcome in a few people. And One Vision Ariel, Dustin, you were number one. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. And I see Greg Pittman there, and Johnny Drone Flyer, and Lee Bessing, and Fly Guy Merrill. And I'm sure a few other people will be popping in along the way. And Brian had said that he's all set, and he'll be joining us shortly too. But without further ado, and there's 107 Drones. How you doing? And Drone and New Visuals. How you doing? Good to see you. Speaking of which, he'll be on our show on Wednesday, the Fly for Fun show, and I'm looking forward to that. But I tell you, it's one of those things where the weeks they just fly by. I can't believe it's been a week that has went by, and the show is live again. It's one thing when you're posting videos and you can do them at your leisure, but when you got to go live, it's a commitment. And as I'm sure Lawrence will agree with me, the weeks just come around so quickly. But I just want to introduce Lawrence because Lawrence is Novice Quads. We all know that. And I learned so much from watching those guys, him and Herman Green. And I was lucky enough to be a guest on their show. And I've met him a couple of times already. I met him at their meetup, the Brooklyn meetup, the one and only famous Yellow Submarine meetup at Calvert Vaux Park, if I remember right. But I'm going to bring him in right now because he's had enough shrimp and lobster, and there he is. How you doing?
Ray,
Welcome, Lawrence.
Ray, hold on a sec. I must say the shrimp and lobster is to die for, but you got to refill a shrimp for the next guest.
Oh, see that, Brian? You're out of luck. I'm telling you.
Hey,
But
what's up? How are you, Ray?
it's good to see you. Good to see you, Lawrence. And thank you for taking the time out of your Memorial Day weekend to be on the show today.
Not a problem. You may, if I had went to a barbecue today, you may have been in trouble because I'd probably be asleep from eating so much barbecue. But since I didn't go to a barbecue and I had to do a little job today, and you asked me early. See, if you asked me in advance, I have enough time to make plans for you. I always got time for you, Ray.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. But I started watching you well over a year now. And it was you and Herman, those guys, and then you would always have Stevie Bronx on as a special guest, and Tom Dowling, and I got to know all the years, and then you had your meetup, and that's where I really got to know you well at the Brooklyn meetup. That those guys meetup barbecue, right? It was a fun
Yeah,
day.
yeah, it was a meetup slash little barbecue. It was nothing special. We had hot dogs and burgers and maybe a couple of things to drink, non-alcoholic. It wound up turning out to be good. It
No,
was
it
a
was a
good turnout
totally
for the
successful
very first
day,
those guys meetup. So
and the weather cooperated. That's a big thing that you got to worry about when you're playing these meetups is the weather. You know,
hmm
but what a
this
location! That Calvert Forks Park is a great location to fly drones.
and there's a legal AMA airfield in that park as well. So if you're an AMA member, you can go to that part of the park or fly. They're very friendly. The people over there in that park, they're used to drones buzzing by them all the time. Even
And
the
I
dogs, the birds don't even go nowhere.
and I am a member. I'm a card carrying member. The old saying. Uh,
Yes.
but and that's a good thing to join, just to let people know about that, because you do get insurance with your membership. I don't know if you know that, but there's
hmm
a certain amount of liability, 25,000 maybe, for
I think
liability insurance that
I don't know what the last was, but I did hear that they you are insured. And it's recommended. Herman stresses this. Phantom Flight 101. He stresses that you should become if an AMA member because that not only helps the drone community, but it says, "Hey, I'm a part of something."
and you also get a magazine. you
Yes,
know?
yes, yes. You get a magazine. You get AMA stickers to stick on your car to show you're an AMA member. You get the key to the
Yeah,
park.
yeah. I got my
Yep.
stickers right here.
Yep, you put that on your car and you're good to go. Every year you change out. You from what I understand, you get NOTAMs, you get regular notice to airmen alerts regularly.
Yeah.
It
No, it's
it's
a good organization, no doubt about it. But Lawrence, there's a lot of people in the chat that don't know your story. So if you don't mind, maybe briefly, or take as long as you want, tell us how you got involved with drones initially, and where it's taken you. And I know you're into FPV now, but you still fly camera drones, which is good to hear. So
yes, I do. I do. Well, I started, believe it or not, you remember going to the mall and seeing those little 6-inch and 5-inch helicopters that they had? Well, I was already into electronics. I used to build models from when we were little, the little model
yeah,
cars and stuff. So I was always into stuff like that. And then when I saw these helicopters and the guy was flying it so cool in the mall, what you don't realize is in the mall, there is no wind. It will do what he wants it to do. But as soon as you take that sucker outside, woo, it's gone. But I started out flying those copters. I even graduated to like a 3-foot one, but it was battery powered.
that's a
And from there, I was doing a job one day out on Long Island, and a lady on her porch, we saw this drone sitting on her porch, and the lights were on. So I said, maybe it's her grandson's. Let me sit it there. She says, no, the stupid thing land in front of my house. I don't know what is it. What it is. What is it? And I go, it's a drone. She says, well, where did it come from? I said, you said it landed. It came from somewhere. So she says, well, what does it do? I said, well, it has a camera. You take pictures. And she says, oh, they were taking pictures. I said, well, if it landed here and no one came to get it, probably it was a flyaway.
Yep.
So she says, well, what should I do with it? I said, well, what do you want to do with it? You should wait for the person to come. She says, no, it's been sitting there for 3 days. You want it? So I said, hell yeah. And that was 7 years ago.
Okay. All
That
right.
was 7 years. It was not a DJI drone. It was not it was a DJI clone. It had the DJI Phantom 4 cookie cutter shape, but it was really a SEMA X8 something. It was really light. It was a piece of junk, but I got a remote for it and I started flying then, way back then. I'm an old timer.
Interesting, I'll tell you. And that's a great story. It really is.
And
But you've
I
come a
got my
long way
first.
since then.
I have my experience with Hubson. What's up, everyone in the chat? I'm sorry, I was in another window. I had
No,
my
no, we got a
experience with.
great chat going. I'm telling you. Rob Kabata's here, JC
Yeah, I'm
Fly.
going to leave the chat open and stop looking at the StreamYard. But what happened was everyone said if you're going to get a drone, go DJI. And I wanted DJI, but my pockets were saying you can't go DJI. But then there was this company called Hubson.
Okay.
Everyone's familiar with them. Now, Hubson had a drone called the Hubson H501S, the
Okay.
501. I could not afford that one, so I got the H502, which was a small drone, and it fit in the palm of your hand, almost the size of a mini. And that was my very first GPS drone.
Okay.
And then after that, I wind up getting a freaking DJI anyway. And I'm going to tell you now, if people ask you what to get, just send them straight to DJI. Tell them everything else is crap, because DJI or Tell, because the money that I spent, seriously, see, Maddie said he watched one from way back, the Hubson H502.
Yeah.
The money that I spent on drones and remotes and all of that stuff, I could have went out and saved up my money and got the DJI to begin with instead of being cheap.
Right. DJI is really the best.
Hey, there's BMack in the chat.
Yeah, look at this. We got a great crowd. I didn't think we were going to have this many people on Memorial Day, but thank you all for tuning in. And Al from Duranify. And don't forget those guys. Well, not those guys, but Al and Robbie will be coming on at 7 p.m., the World Drone Community. And that's always a great show. So we limited to about an hour today, Lawrence. But you got a great story. Continue.
Well, I got my first DJI drone. I was in NYC Fireborough drone meetup. My first real GPS drone was a 3DR Solo. Now, those of you who don't know what a 3DR Solo is, it's a square-shaped drone. Hello, Charles. It's square-shaped drone, and when you start the props, it sounds like a lawnmower. And it has a camera with a gimbal, but they only sell the drone. You have to buy the camera separate. And back then, it was a Hero 4. It only took a Hero 4 Black or earlier, and that was my first true GPS. That one, excuse me, I actually developed a love for drones. What's that?
Gotta wait until it starts. The contest starts. Don't waste your time now, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bob.
No, that's okay. That's all right. We get the same thing over at those guys. Herman was giving away some shirts, and he says, "Now I'm going to come up with a number," and they don't know how to act sometimes. It's good though. I love the drone community, but I graduated from the 3DR Solo to a Phantom 4 Standard, and from that Phantom 4 Standard, and at that time everyone had Phantom 4 Pros. The Mavic 2 Pro hadn't even come out yet, and I learned how to use it. I watched what they did with their Phantom 4 Pros. Hey, Phantom Flight 101. Good evening to you. What's up, dude?
Hey,
how
Herman,
are you, Herman?
how you doing?
And I watched and I took notes, and then I started doing things on my own, and one thing just led to another, One thing just led to another, and I've been flying camera drones from day one. Now I fly more FPV than I do camera drones.
Right, I know you do, and you fly really good too.
But I appreciate that. But you know what it is? I fly it, and I'm gonna be honest with you. The reason I fly FPV is because with a camera drone, the wind conditions have to be correct. With an FPV drone, you don't have to worry about wind. So here's the math behind it. If you have an FPV drone that does 65 miles per hour, right? We're gonna do a little bit of math, and the wind is blowing 20 miles per hour. Well, guess what? In 20-mile-per-hour winds, I can still do 45 miles per hour.
Yeah.
You understand?
Well, sort of, but
Yeah, but yeah, close. But you get what I'm saying though. I don't have to worry about 25, 30 mile per hour winds and getting those high wind warnings that you get with camera drones. I can fly. I can fly, and it'll be a little resistant. A great tailwind coming back. It's fun.
well, it just so happens that I preloaded, and hopefully I do this correctly, one of your FPV flights. So if you don't mind, we'll show that some of it now, and maybe you can narrate. But I'll probably lose the stream as I try to do this.
I hope not.
All right. So and then we're gonna bring in Brian because he started
Okay. All right. Cool.
give me faces. No, I'm just kidding. He's back there.
Did
All right, so I'm
did
gonna
you
try to
refill
do
the
this.
shrimp though?
Bear
Did
with
you
me if I don't do it correctly. So I think it's this one, and I know you got to start it too. So
Yeah, you have to highlight it. You click
that's
share and then you highlight. Hold it. Okay.
how's that?
Oh, that was the last one I did. Okay.
So you can tell
It is
people about
playing.
this.
It is playing on YouTube. I see it on YouTube.
So
This is a little lagoon area where I live. It's a little inlet where the
go ahead,
fishermen
I'm sorry.
they fish for bunker. If you can mute it, Ray, that'll be even better.
Okay, mute it. All right.
Mute the
I'll
video.
try. Yeah. Okay.
That's
Mute
a little
it.
inlet where they fish for bunker, and now they're actually pulling bass out of this waterway right here, from your fingertip to your elbow, Ray.
Nah, I don't know how to mute it. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. That's all right.
But this is a great flight.
Well, I wasn't happy with it. It's what I call a filler video. You know what a filler video is, Ray?
Nah.
You want to plot a video, but you're just not inspired to. So you wind up, you put out anything. That's what a filler video is for me. But this particular day, I just really wanted to fly. I could care less about right now about YouTube and views anymore. I still like them, but
All right. Very, very good. So that was great. I'll have to say, that was great, and I didn't lose myself, so that was even good too.
So now you know how to share. Now you know how to share videos. That's good.
And I'll figure out how to mute it at another time.
No, what you got to do, Ray, is you got to mute the video before you play it.
I got you. All right.
Yeah. So in the future, you mute it before you play it, and if any commercials come up, you click the commercials out also, and you should be fine. But like I was saying, that was a filler video. I do filler videos. Like I feel compelled to have to put out a video. I used to do a video a week. Then I went to every 2 weeks. Well, this was coming up on 3 weeks, almost a month. So I said, let me just push something to keep the YouTube numbers moving. Because if you don't put out content eventually, and I don't know how YouTube does it, but you ever see how you subscribe to someone and then you go to the page and you see you're not subscribed, and it's a whole crazy thing.
Well, I tell you one thing, it's hard to keep up. If you do a lot of flying and filming, it's hard to keep up. But listen, we'll get back to your story in a minute. But
bring him Brian. Bring him back.
You've been in the back room quite a while now.
He should be full of shrimp by
all
now.
the way from Texas. How you doing, Brian?
Hey,
Brian, what's up?
Can y'all hear me good?
Yes. Brian, was that shrimp to die for or not?
Man, I'm telling you, that's why I was late to start with. I mean, I kept looking at my phone saying, man, I got to get over there. Oh, no.
Well, see, I told him before when I came on, I'm like, yo, you got to refill the shrimp bowl for the next guest.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys are getting a kick out of that because it's sort of an ongoing joke and people are still getting a kick out of it. So, and a lot of the guests that are really getting into it.
And
Brian, thank you for being on.
let me say something to Lawrence, because he's costing me almost $1,000. Yeah, yeah, bud. Yeah, it cost me almost $1,000.
Huh?
Yeah, huh?
What happened?
That video you did cruising down the beach a couple of weeks ago. I said, yeah, I could do that. I could do that. Yeah.
Oh no.
No. A friend of mine here in Houston wants to unload. Well, he did unload his DJI FPV POS, as they call it nowadays. So he had the whole kit and caboodle for like $2,200. He gave it to me for $900.
Okay.
The only place I can fly that thing safely is Galveston. The trees here are too tall. I got 90-foot pines everywhere I go. So,
wow.
But at the same time, I bought it to fly in Galveston because I loved that shot you got on the beach. And I said, I can do that.
Yeah. Well, Brian, you know.
No. I feel so bad, man. I feel so bad because it was actually someone else's video that caused me to crash my drone, doing the exact same thing, trying to cruise along the water.
Well, I don't plan on crashing. I will speed ramp 40 miles an hour to 80.
Well, I'll tell you, I give you credit. I give you credit, Brian. That's great. It really is.
You know, so do you have footage of what happened? What was the result?
I haven't done anything yet. I just got it from this guy. I need to practice with it.
I thought you were telling me that
I got it because of what I saw you do.
Okay, cool. I thought you were telling me that you got it and you were skimming across the water and went.
No, nothing like that yet. Hopefully, ever.
Oh, good.
But, it was that one that inspired me to get it.
We got a lot more people in. They must have known you guys were going to be on the show because we got Lauren Downhour. He's in the chat now. And Michael Blade, FPV, Charles Lusky. How you doing?
What's up, everybody?
Aerials. But anyway, we'll get back to the more people in the chat. But Brian, maybe you could tell us your story. How you got involved with drones originally?
Not too much to it that I haven't told before. But one thing I will add, though, that Lawrence mentioned, I did see the guy in the mall with the drone like 10, 12 years ago. And I'm just thinking, yeah, I could really ruin some stuff with that thing. Nope, I ain't getting it. But no, I had a neighbor down the street, or 3 houses down. He had a Phantom 3. And this was like 5, 6 years ago. And I moseyed on up to him. I said, you know, how high does it go? What does it cost? What can you do? What does it do? Blah, 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 like everybody else does. And $500 for the drone, $800 for the package. I said, see you later. I ain't getting involved. There's no way. So, 2017, I went out and bought a cheapy drone. It was a Hollystone HS-130.
Okay. Yeah.
Ran through about 2 of those.
I'm familiar with the brand.
Yeah. Ran through about 2 of those. Trees eat those things. Trees like to eat Hollystones, I found out. 90-foot pines love them. So a buddy of mine had a DJI Spark, and I said, Fred, can you come to this park and let me see you fly it? I just want to see what this thing looks like. And he came over to the park. He put the drone up 6 feet in the air, and that's it. I'm ordering it tomorrow. It doesn't fly away. Okay, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
But I went from a DJI Spark in April of 2018 to a Mavic 2 Zoom in September of the same year. So that was quite a jump.
Yeah.
And,
that was a great drone. And it still is.
No, I still have it. I flew it just the other day, in fact. Downtown Houston. I was doing all kind of good stuff with it. Burned through 4 batteries. And Ray, I do need to apologize, honestly, though, because every afternoon, or at least every day after I fly a drone, I just get immersed in all the footage. I flew 2 drones, GoPro, Insta360, and this thing here. It's a sound recorder, HN1. Wow. This thing is a directional sound recorder.
Oh, okay.
So, in other words, if you point it like at a creek, it has a stand, a mount, and everything. You point it at a creek down at the beach where I was yesterday. that kind of it does an incredible job of recording the stuff they got pre-recorded on YouTube and anywhere else you can find. I don't like it. It's too I don't know. It's too pasteurized. I don't know if that's the right word I'm looking for. But I did a couple of files yesterday. I'm real happy with it so far. So
I know, Brian. You do some incredible sunsets and really, you're really into photography.
Yeah. In fact, that's exactly what I was doing when I got so hung up. I was just hitting these photos yesterday. I guess, wow, look at this one. Wow, look at that one. Wow, look at this.
I know the feeling.
And then don't start me on the footage, because the footage was just like, oh, I need to do something with this. Even if it's just, like you said, Lawrence, even if it's just filler, a couple minutes of drone footage filler, when the scenery looks good, people will watch it for a minute or two. And I mean, this is YouTube. That's the best you're going to get. Unless it's Ray Kelly show, and they're not going to have around.
Got a lot to learn. I still got a lot to learn, believe me.
By the way, Ray, I really like that. I like that video I commented on yesterday. You did a Navy thing out there, and I guess it was San Diego a few years back. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that Fleet Week video. But thank you. Yeah. I appreciate that. But people are talking about your green screen. That is a halo that's like over you, Brian. That is a great shot right there.
That is a sunrise shot from New Year's Day this year.
Okay. Yeah.
That's downtown Houston, New Year's Day. I embellished the sun rays, though, in the photo, because it was...
Looks like a nice place to fly some FPV.
No, there's plenty of places to fly. I mean, but I would literally have to drive on the other side of town where the trees only grow like 30 feet. It's weird. You go to the southwest side of town, you can't find a tree over 40 or 50 feet. You come on my side of town, they're popping near 100, and it goes on for miles.
Wow.
Now the other thing, Brian, is you're a New Yorker, right?
Yeah. Originally from Brooklyn.
Ray was telling me. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And where from?
Let me see. Flatbush. Between Avenue I and J on Brooklyn Avenue.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know the area well.
I know Herman lives not too far from there.
Herman's down Flatbush as well.
Yeah,
you're right about that. Yep.
But
then you came out to Long Island for a while too, right?
Lived in Selden for a year and a few months. That was, so this is what a normal childhood is like. Wow, that didn't last long.
So what made you go to Texas? Can you share that story?
The service. I joined the service out of Brooklyn when I was 17. Popped down to, where did I go? South Carolina, Virginia, Germany, Texas. So
wow. Well, thank you for your service.
Yeah, I was in Army Aviation helicopters, but I didn't like Texas when I first came here. But it kind of grows on you like mildew.
Well, Texas,
the life of Brian, Gary says.
Booming now. Everybody's moving to Texas.
Well, there's no state tax. There's not a lot of restrictions on much of anything yet. So it's not a bad place. But I mean, I'll tell you, Ray, my granddaughter just moved back in February to Boston. She's 24 years old. She has her own business. She's a makeup artist. She makes like $2,000 a day. Don't ask me. I don't know. But she's incredible. But I said, Lauren, you go up there and it's going to be different. And about 2 months later, she goes, you have no idea how different. You were right.
Yeah.
It's a whole different mindset.
Hey, let me say hello to Eric Rose. He's coming all the way from the Bahamas. And I think I mentioned Thomas already from Ireland. And Lauren Dunauer from Canada. And Gary's from up in Canada. We got a great crowd in the house tonight. I'm telling you.
They're already putting numbers in, man. See what JC started? See what John started?
Yeah.
I know. But listen, now it would be a good time to do the tip of the week, though. And, I have a very brief segment on the tip of the week. And today's tip of the week is do your site survey when you get to the location. get there, look around, look for the trees, look for the wires, look for people that might be in the area.
Especially the wires.
Yeah, the wires could spoil your day, and any obstacles. So that's it. That's a simple little tip that a lot of people don't even do.
You know what, Ray? I agree with you 100%. A lot of times there's so many, yourself, how many people on any given day, like it's sunny now, on any given day, no lie, Brian, on a good day, I'd say there's at least 100 drone pilots flying throughout the 5 boroughs easily.
Wow.
Easily. And we're not talking AMA airfields. We're talking places, Class B airspace, Class G airspace, and, doing what they're supposed to. And this kills me, the fact that everyone believes you come to New York, oh, you can't fly in New York, you get a ticket, you get those. And it's always someone that doesn't live in New York that's telling you New York drone rules. So if this were true, do you think with hundreds of drone pilots flying every day, there would have been at least one accident?
You would think from the sound of it, yeah.
And if you watch the news about New York City, when you hear buildings getting hit, 9 times out of 10, it's the tourists. They say, oh, I can fly a drone here, or they bring a drone and they hit our beautiful skyscrapers.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I know.
In fact, the last guy that hit a skyscraper before COVID, the drone went through the window on the 55th floor, and he said he was cordial about it. That it happened on the weekend, and that Monday morning he went to go claim the drone and offer to pay for the window, and they arrested him.
Yeah. Well, accidents happen. That's all I'll say. So don't forget, do your site survey.
The thing about it is, I am planning on making it back to New York, hopefully here pretty soon, next year, 2 or 3. And I'm bringing a drone or 2.
Make sure you hit up me and Herman, man.
Well,
on Long Island.
I'm 107 and everything, so that's up in July, and I'm seriously wondering if I want to renew it because I don't know. I probably will, but I have issues with this. Anyway,
a word of advice. Seriously, if you're already 107, keep it. Because it's going to get to a time and point where if you're not 107, you won't be respected in the drone world.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
It means a lot. It does.
And I don't mean by other drone pilots. To hell with other drone pilots. I'm talking about society alone. Because I get a lot of people that ask me, "Are you 107?" And I fly when I'm flying FPV. I'm flying as a hobbyist, but I still carry this card with me in case something happens.
The thing about it is the details of 107 can either work for you or against you.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on where you are, where you want to fly, and what time of day it is, 107 can work against you. Is all I'm saying. It's like,
exactly.
My buddy next to me who is not 107 is like, oh, yeah, okay, well, get a shot for me too, because I can't take that shot up there.
Yeah.
Flying at night is a perfect example.
Yeah,
Eric Rose was in New York, but he left his drone at home, and I know, he would have loved to flown right in New York City, but he's down in the Bahamas and he's got some beautiful places to fly down there.
I've actually got my spot staked out that I want to fly from. It's going to be east and west of the Verrazano, out over the water, and from off of Staten Island where my aunt lived. I already know my spots.
Well,
I have no intention of going anywhere near Manhattan.
Well, listen closely. Listen very closely. You can get shots of Manhattan from Queens, from Brooklyn, from New Jersey. There's no reason to go into Manhattan and risk getting in trouble. Like, this is Fleet Week now, right? There was a warning given off or from an FPV pilot that I know. With the area where he flies, his home area where he flies, the military were setting up and getting ready for Fleet Week, and they made it sure to let him know. They put the word out there. If you're trying to catch the ships after they pass the Verrazano and they're in New York Harbor, because New York Harbor starts at the Verrazano Bridge. If
Yep.
you're trying to fly any of their ships, they're going to have drone detection devices. They're going to be helicopters flying around, everything. They don't want you near their ships. Now, at the end of the week, when these ships are leaving New York Harbor, once they go outside of the Verrazano Bridge, you can get footage of them. Now, I know for a fact, I said there are hundreds of drone pilots. I can guarantee you that people have their photos, but they're going to hold on to them for a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, but
and it's a funny
you
thing.
can get
to drive in there too. I really am.
You can get shots. You definitely can get shots of New York.
There is a guy there. His name is I can't remember his first name. His last name is Guzman. Maybe y'all have seen him on Facebook or where he flies an Autel, and he gets incredible night shot. And he's flying from the Brooklyn side, and I can tell he's not in Manhattan. He's flying from the Brooklyn side, and he gets these incredible night shots of New York Harbor. And I'm just going,
yeah,
I could do that.
Yeah. So it is doable.
Oh yeah.
But don't get caught doing something you're not supposed to. Hey, Harley FPV.
For one thing, I don't mind flying at night. I do it all the time here. But if I go visit somewhere where I'm not familiar with it, where I haven't been to it 5, 6, 10 times, I'm probably not going to fly at night.
Well, if I can't see it, I agree with you. If I can't see it during the day, I really, really, really won't fly unless I can see it during the day and see where wires are. Yes, there you go, Ray.
Yep.
How about this photo? This is one of Eddie Nunez, his 9/11 photos that he took at night. I don't know exactly where he took it from, but it's an awesome, awesome photo. And I asked him if I could buy it from him, but he sent me and he said, just have it printed yourself. So I put it on canvas. I love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm actually trying to pull something up real quick to show you how easy it is to get shots. You mind if I share something, Ray?
Oh no, go ahead, please.
Okay, let's see if I can do this properly. Let's go to share.
I have one of yours to share too, Brian.
Share screen, maybe. Share slides. No, let's try this again. Let me open the picture. Let me open the picture up first and see if I can share now. Go back here, share screen. Let's try it. Here we go, share screen. There, you can see my screen, correct?
Nope.
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
Yep.
Oh, window. Here it is, share. There we go. You see this picture?
I'll bring it up. There it is.
Okay. I took this picture. This is 2022. I took this picture with a Phantom 4 Standard. Maybe I'd say about 5.5 years ago, 5 years ago. And we were in New Jersey. If you look here, you see the water down here, which says stop sharing StreamYard. I was out over the water and we had no problem. So it is possible to get shots of Manhattan.
That's a great shot. No doubt about it.
Oh yeah.
It's an old one. Like I said, it was 5 years ago with a Phantom 4 Standard, which doesn't have an aperture and all of that. But just let us know when the hell you get here, man.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
That's going to be the problem. Last time I was there was in 2007, and I hadn't seen my relatives in like 35 years. And there was a little squabble going on. I was like, who's going to get me next?
Yeah, that's what happens when you're away. You got to go start making the rounds, and there's just not enough time.
I went from Brooklyn to Staten Island to Jersey to Long Island.
Well, see, that's often the problem. Visiting family first, because you have to take care of family. Because if you don't take care of family, you won't be allowed back in New York.
Most of the family that I visited then have, believe it or not, unfortunately, all passed. They were my dad's relatives, my mom's.
Oh.
And like I said, I knew I needed to make that trip because they were getting old, and I'm so glad I did. But yeah, no, next time there's only 1 or 2 people that I need to stop by, and that's going to be a drone experience there for me when I do decide to go. Because there's another place that I said I'm going to do it when I'm there. Montauk Point, I'm hitting. I'm hitting Montauk.
Oh,
There's
Montauk.
nothing there. I know
Great.
that.
Yep.
You know, and the weather is always an issue there because you got to pick out the right time of year. You know,
It does depend on what time of the year you're out on Montauk. Yeah.
You know, I didn't realize it, but Montauk's a state park, and you know, I was
Yeah.
filming there one time for a TV show that I had, and a state trooper came, and he said, "You know, if you have a permit, you're allowed to film. Do you have a permit?" I said, "No." He said, "Well, then you're not allowed to film."
Yeah.
And he kicked me out. Believe it or not.
Oh yeah, you know, here's the thing too. They've got the same rules here in Texas about state parks, and as long as I know I'm going to do it, I've always asked permission, and they've always given it to me. Now, there's one park they won't do it. It's called Enchanted Rock. They just will not allow you to have a drone up there, and there's good reasons why. But I mean, most of them are real good. If you tell them what you're going to do, if you have a project name and you're licensed, they don't have a problem. You'll fill out a piece of paper, and I've done it 7 or 8 times now. In fact, even that one Memorial Day video I did that I highlighted on my Facebook thing, I had to get their permission. That's a national cemetery. So,
Right.
Oh, you got permission for that? I was wondering about that.
you know, I had 3 weeks of a window. I shot everything I needed in one morning.
Okay.
Like, wow.
That was nice.
And that's fortunate because sometimes you set up a shoot somewhere, and like today would have been today is Manhattan Henge. But those of you who don't know what Manhattan Henge is, Manhattan Island is on a grid system that during 4 times a year, the sun shines from the east side of Manhattan to the west side of Manhattan. And you can catch the sun as it's going down. And today is the second day. And then the next time it does happen in Manhattan will be in the fall. It usually happens with the transition from spring into summer and then from summer into fall.
Yeah.
I remember there was a thing
I wanted to go.
They were highlighting it on the news today.
Yeah, I wanted to catch it. And I'm like, you know what? I forgot about Ray's live stream. And once I heard you were giving out shrimp and lobster, I had to come here, man.
Yeah, that shrimp and lobster that gets all these.
Wait! I got the shrimp and you had lobster? Oh damn!
Dude, you didn't. There was no lobster.
Oh shit!
Wow.
You know, Brian,
Ray,
I don't know what those shells were.
Ray, you need to hire dude in the back. I mean, fire dude in the back.
We need security back there. Yep. Anyway, I do have a video. I'm going to try to share it, and let me go back and see if I can bring it in. One of your videos, Brian.
Oh God.
So we shall see if it keeps me in the stream. And hang in there, guys.
That's what I'm saying. You know, running one of these live streams is a pain in the butt.
All right. I think we got it. Tell us about this, but I don't know how to mute it. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to remember what I did here. Oh, that guy in the frame right there, he was drunk. It was like 6 in the morning. He was drunk. By the way, that's GoPro footage.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's beautiful, Brian.
Yeah.
It really is.
There's not too many mornings here that you can't catch something good. And this is from the Air 2S. This is a small seaside community called Seabrook, and it's next to Kingsport. It's mostly a fishing village or town. You can get the freshest seafood. It comes right off the boat every day. And I go down there a lot, you know. I love taking my pictures. This clip where it's flying out, there's actually people in the water wade fishing, and I didn't see them until I got home.
I don't know how long it is.
It's not.
But this is incredible.
I think this one might have ran a little bit longer. I try to keep mine at like 3-4 minutes. This one may have ran 6. I would knock yourself out of it. Yeah, I've learned one thing: don't try to keep under 3 or 4 minutes. I had so many good shots. It's like, well, I'll just keep going.
Well, I'll have to say, Brian, I couldn't hear a word you were saying.
Oh, okay. Well, no, like I said,
So I
that I
apologize
think ran
about
like
that.
6
But that was
minutes.
a great video.
It was all right. I mean, it just, to me, it was a filler thing. The videos that I'm most proud of, because they give me the biggest adrenaline rush, and this is another thing I do plan on doing with the DJI FPV at POS at some point, is I love doing cruise ships. There is nothing more thrilling than keeping step with a cruise ship that's doing 21 knots, and you're trying to do a sideways pull.
Well, I have to say, I did a cruise ship coming into Palm Beach this winter, and that was when we were having the issues with the satellite,
Yeah.
right, on the Mavic 3. So sure enough, I see this cruise ship coming in. I try to get my satellites, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and the cruise ship is going by. It's going by. It's going by. And I had to chase down the cruise ship.
They're chaseable, man, but Lawrence, you're muted, I think, bud.
What's that?
Wow, I had no idea I was
There you
muted.
go.
I was saying I'd like to I pride myself in boat chases, because there's nothing like following a boat from behind while transitioning to the side view of the boat, while almost transitioning to slightly forward of the boat. And if you can do that fluently, it looks really, really beautiful when you do that. And that's one thing that I can do easy. Now, if you ask me to do a full circle manually, it may be more like an oval, but it'll be
Yeah.
smooth.
Well, as long as you're having fun doing it, Lawrence, that's what it's all about.
That's the main thing. Yep.
Yeah, this is true, and people and I have to say this about some in the drone community. Instead of going out there and worrying about the guy taking the next picture or getting the shot before you, focus on your own stuff. Be happy. Enjoy what you got into flying drones for, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So many people are focused on, oh, this dude got that shot. I got to go over there and get that shot now. Don't worry about that bull. I almost said bull crap, but don't worry about that bull. Focus on what you're focusing on. Enjoy it for what you're doing it. No one can enjoy it but you if you don't enjoy it yourself.
That's right.
That's all.
Exactly. Well, you guys are eligible for this contest because I did not tell you what the lucky color is. So if the first one to get the lucky color now, well, their name will go in the hat for the monthly drawing, which is for Adventures with Capt Ray Kelly hat. So we'll see who gets the color first.
Herman
Very
just said, wow.
sophisticated system,
Okay.
So, but anyway, I'm looking at the colors. You guys can keep talking, and I'll keep it on the chat.
I just want to say, finally, Brian, it's good to meet you in person and put a face with the name. I saw you got to fly.
One Vision Aerial. I think he was the first one to get yellow. The color is yellow.
Okay, congratulations.
But what shade of yellow? I'm a photographer.
Periwinkle.
Are we going like bumblebee yellow, sun yellow?
No. Basic color.
Yeah. Like show put periwinkle.
But anyway, your name will go in the hat, and we'll do it next week. We'll do the drawing.
Congratulations to the winner.
Dustin, very good.
A show says it's rigged. That's what they were saying when Herman was giving out shirts last week Wednesday.
And by the way, Lawrence, I do enjoy you and Herman when y'all get together on Wednesdays. I'm usually able to catch your Wednesday show, but the Saturday one,
I appreciate it. We appreciate it, man. Seriously.
Lawrence, it's one of those things where I've learned so much watching your live streams, and even yours, Brian, when you were doing them regularly too. But
summer's coming. I'll be doing them again.
I really try to make time for your show on Sundays and Herman's show, Phantom Flight 101 on Wednesday, because I learned, you guys share some good information.
I appreciate it. It's information that's out there. And like we were talking before the live stream, and I was explaining to you that I used to do internet radio, which is basically what we're doing here, except I used to play music. If you were signed or you had a contract, I didn't play this stuff on the radio. I didn't play stuff back from the 50s. If you had street music or music that custom music that you done, I would play it to get it heard. And now we're back to doing the same thing full circle with this YouTube thing and flying drones and videos. And it is time consuming. It is very, very time consuming. Family members will curse you out. Everything, man. You know.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say, it's a lot harder than I thought doing these live
We
streams.
appreciate it, though. Seriously, we appreciate it. There's an African proverb that it says each one teach one. I did not know that it was an African proverb. I just started saying each one teach one, and I believe in it, because if one person taught just one other person something, that's two people that know something now. And all it takes is just one person to learn something they didn't know that may be life-saving, or it may be saved their life, or maybe it won't, but it's something they didn't know, and now they can obtain it and maybe share it with someone
we even
else.
got the drone bum watching the show today.
Oh yeah, Polly's in here.
Hey, Paulie, what's good, man? How are you, Paulie? Paulie and Drone Psych have come out here where I live to fly. I need to get them back out here because there's a train bridge. There's a train bridge that when people come out, I take them to one spot along the beach where I usually fly, and then I take them to the train bridge. Now, during the week, periodically, 2 times, it's a swing bridge. It swings open and closes. And if you get there at a decent time, it's a great thing to time lapse, to hyperlapse, or
now,
speed
where
to
is
catch it.
Where?
Out here, out in Far Rockaway.
Okay.
Out in Far Rockaway, out here where I'm at. Every morning the bridge opens at least once or twice, and it's just a scene because that bridge has been there since the early 1900s.
Oh, you got to give me the time schedule. I got to come in there.
Yeah, I can do that. It at least opens at least once every freaking morning for barges to come through with tugboats.
By the way, Lawrence, another one places that I've lived, Beach 66th Street, Far Rockaway. Been lived there for.
dude. Not just. I live on. I don't want to say where I live, but I live not far from there. And I'm going to tell you right now, you haven't been watching New York City news, have you? Well, because you live in Texas, but it's the neighborhood is changing, dude.
Really?
The neighborhood is changing. Some would like to think for the better, but the neighborhood, Beach 66th Street, was just on the news the other day.
Really?
Yeah, man.
I can show you pictures of when I was there in 2007.
Get out. That's funny.
Yeah, that was, like I said, I've lived a lot of places in New York, man. Ocean Parkway, Far Rockaway, Flatbush, of course, Long Island, Puerto Rico. I lived in San Juan for a year. That's why when Eddie Nunez goes down there and does all that video, I'm just going, oh, yeah, I know where that is, too.
San Juan is nice. I like San Juan.
San Juan's real nice.
They got that nice fort there. I forget the name of it.
El Moro.
El Moro.
Actually,
if you ever get a chance and you go to Puerto Rico, there's a small town called Bayamon. It's on the outskirts, Bayamon, Puerto Rico. It's on the outskirts of a rainforest. And what happens is every morning, without fail, unless there's like a hurricane or something coming, every morning without fail, you see the fog come in over the mountain and swoop down into the rainforest, and the rainforest disappears.
Wow, that'd be cool.
And then as the day heats up, you slowly see the rainforest appear out of the fog. And you can only capture the shot from above because the fog is so thick, everything is going to get soaked. You fly a drone, it's going to get soaked. It's going to come down wet. But if you ever get to Puerto Rico, it's just like I said, it's a small town. My ex, her parents actually have a house on the side of a mountain, and the father was very smart. because people are like, "You're going to build a house on the side of a mountain?" He's like, "Yeah." They're like, "Well, we get hurricanes." What he did was, if you have the map in your head, Puerto Rico, the storms come from the east going west.
Yeah.
He built his house on the west side of the mountain.
So he's
So
on the
when
lee
the
side.
so when storms came, they literally blow over the house. They may knock down a few trees or whatever, but he opened up the shutters, he hosed down the mud off the house, and he's fine.
That sounds cool. Yeah.
And now that place is worth so much money, man. It's crazy. But
no snakes. There's no snakes in that rainforest, really.
In
No, they got
Puerto
other things
Rico,
that can
I'm
bite.
quite sure there are. I haven't stayed around long enough to find out.
Well,
Rod
I have
Picker.
to say, guys, you guys have been great guests. And as much as I hate to say it, the hour has just about passed. So I want to say thank you both for being on the show. The people in the chat loved you. There's no doubt about it with all the comments that were coming in.
Thanks for having me, Ray. I really appreciate it.
And it's
Thank
one
you.
of those things where we got a busy night tonight. The World Drone Community comes on right at 7.
El Unique. It's Key Largo. Got it. El Unique Rainforest. Yes, it is.
El Yunque.
There it is. Yeah. There it
It's
is.
called El Yunque.
Yes. Yes.
I've
That is the rainforest.
Too. Yep.
Ray, but anyway,
thank you for the shrimp and lobster. I'm sorry, Brian. They didn't refill. They didn't refill the lobster tray.
But don't forget, Drone Nation took the night off tonight. It's Memorial Day weekend, so they're not going to be on. But I think the Grumpy Vlog is still on. And don't forget the other shows that are on during the week. So please support each other's channel, and it means a lot. And I want to say thank you to both of you. You were great guests. And now I'll give you time to give you closing thoughts or whatever you would like to promote. And Lawrence, I'll start with you.
I say it at the end of our live streams: be safe, fly safer.
Well, thank you. Thank you again. Really, it's been my honor to have known you and to fly with you. And we've flown together quite a bit.
Yes. And
we even went to Rhode Island a couple of times.
God willing, it'll keep going.
And you and Herman came all the way down to the South Florida drone meetup, and we didn't even get to talk about that. We'll save that for another time.
You were running around like a headless chicken, man. I know when you went home at night, you just passed out.
I'm telling you, it was a busy day.
Thank you for that. That was a really
actually it was 4 days.
That was a really great meetup. It was fun to meet everyone. I did not have enough personal time to fly with everybody there. And that's what I feel bad about. But it was a great meetup. And until next year.
And don't forget, everybody, I got it scrolling across the bottom. The 3rd annual South Florida Drone Meetup will be in Jensen Beach again at the same venue. It was an awesome venue. And it's going to be on April 1st, 2023. So please make your plans now. And Brian, it's not to put you on the spot, but I hope you can be there next year.
Hey, I'm gonna give it a shot, man. Now that the problem child is a little more grown, I'll put his ass in the kennel.
Yeah.
Happy Memorial Day to everyone. Thank you, Paulie, for putting that in the chat.
Yes. And Brian, is there anything you want to promote or
no, I don't really
like to thoughts that you have?
I don't really like to promote myself too much. But the one main thing I just like to say is, flying a drone is one of the most therapeutic things anyone can do. It brings you joy and pleasure where you never thought you'd say, well, what else is there to do? I just think if more people would get into some sort of a hobby like this, they would really clamp down and make us all stop.
A hobby, period. That's what's wrong with people. They don't have hobbies these days. That's why they get into effing trouble.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I'll tell you guys, it's really been a great show. Thank you both for being on, and thank you all in the chat for tuning in. So just get out there, fly for fun, fly safely, and we'll see you again next time. And I'll try to end this broadcast. And if you guys just want to hang around,